Everyone doing these days? So I'm in the garden again. I've got a day off and I've been doing some work on pond. In fact, I was doing a lot of work till like midnight last night. It's quite difficult doing work at night time. But I thought I would share something with you guys that watch my stream. So a relative just passed away. Um, I'm not sure how to feel about it because just between you and me, guys. Um, my grandmother was being looked after by my family, and we have some relatives that came over, took her away from us. We couldn't get her back legally, and they basically helped themselves to money that was not theirs. So I sort of lost my gran, pretty much. Um, my dad lost his mother, pretty much, and we tried our best to get access, but breakfast social services were not helpful. And then when my grandmother died, we found out that she'd been cremated, and the only reason we got told is they wanted money off us to pay for it. They even cashed in her funeral. That was 4 grand. So that wasn't a great thing. So that's something that's been playing on my mind for a long time. That I wasn't able to gain access to my grandmother for 5 years plus. And then recently, one of the sisters that took her away from us um, has passed away, and I'm not sure how to feel about it, if I'm honest with you. Anyway, I thought I'd just share that with you guys so you know what's been going on. It's been a very, very sad 5 years, I guess. Anyway, the purpose of this live stream is to give you an update on what I've been doing with the pond. So I thought I'd show you what I've been up to. We're almost there. All I've got to do is put the underlay in the pond and put the liner in, and we'll be done. But there's a lot of work that's gone off to prepare it to that point. So let me just show you what I've been up to. So this is the pond, ladies and gentlemen. I've been showing you the progression of what I've been doing. So if we just step back, you get an idea of the size. And hopefully it's a lot bigger than it was. The original size, so anyone that comes to this stream, was about here, basically, where that sleeper is. And it was a rectangle. It's a perfect square now. I did measure it. It's 2.5 meters by 2.5 meters. So what I've been doing in the pond, you might be asking. Well, we've been sorting out our tank connectors. Tank connectors in there. So we've got 2 returns. That's the outlet for the pump, and that's the overflow. I've put some triangle corners because I have noticed the liner does sag in the corners, and I don't like it stretching really. So I've put these corner pieces in to protect the liner. Before I'd use some sand, but I thought these would be an interesting thing to put in. So we've got one there, and then if we go around here, we've got a corner piece there that I've put in place that will make the water flow around, and another one here. So that's more or less what we've been doing with the internal part of the pond. I've been just trying to sort out the internal part, get rid of any sharp stones, glass, that sort of thing. I don't want anything sharp, so before I put the liner down, I've put some sand down and we're just sorting that out. But it's pretty much ready for the liner to go in next. So a few things that I have been working on is the electrics and pipe work. So let me show you. So here we have the pump on this small shelf. We've got a ball valve there, and basically the water comes out of the pond up here to the tee towards the surge filter that I've installed. This is the surge filter. I've installed some clear pipe. This is pretty unique because I think not many people have done this before. It normally comes with a clear hose tail so you can see the actual UV working. However, I decided to adapt it a little bit and put a new way of seeing the water. It'll probably get green over time, no doubt, but I thought it'd be interesting to see. So where the tee is here, also I've got a ball valve here that I can shut off and on, and we can connect another filter if we want to. So here's the filter box that I've just put in place to get an idea of how the pipe work is going to work. So let's give you a side view. So here's a side view, guys. You can see that clear pipe there that goes up into the surge filter, and obviously we've got the filter box as well. So basically the water goes into the surge filter, comes out the top down the clear pipe into the filter box, and then we'll have like a wetland type filter in there, and then obviously it'll come out of this via that spillway, that stainless steel spillway, into the pond. But I thought I'd show you the electrics that I've done as well. So let's have a look. So the electrics, so here we've got a pond one pump that I'll use on the retro bottom drain. I've got an eco pump for the actual skimmer, and that's the UV box that I had to rewire to get it to fit in here, and all my electrics are there. And we've got like a, I think it's a 5 or 6, is it 6 gang there for putting the plugs in, and it's not too bad for keeping all my electrics. I'll remove the UV filter out unit out of here to make more space for the electrics. So that's that. Let me just show you the pipe work for the skimmer box. So it's a Yorkshire Koi skimmer that we've got over here. So the Yorkshire Koi skimmer, here's the pipe work. So here we've got our 2 returns. So I just move along, you've got the 2 returns, there's a T-junction there, and then we've got a Superfish Eco pump. Now this Superfish pump at 2000 litres per hour will run at just 8 watts, which is a ridiculous amount of low power. And then obviously I fitted it using a Japanese water garden. Hiya, the koi pond, good afternoon. So yeah, let me just turn it around. You see that, yeah? So Japanese water garden offer an adapter that allows you to attach 1.5 inch pipe, pressure pipe that is. You can use waste pipe if you want to for the Yorkshire Koi skimmer. So I've screwed that in, and hopefully we won't have any leaks. So that's essentially the pipe work. That's it really, guys. So that's what I'm up to at the moment. The next step is going to be putting the underlay in. I just thought I'd show you the corners. And it's pretty much ready for the underlay to go in. So I'll be popping that in today, and then hopefully, if I've got time, I'll put the liner in as well. But that's essentially how the setup will be working, and that's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to do a quick live stream so you can see what I've been up to. So this is the filter box that I got made, but unfortunately they messed up the actual dimensions, so my other baskets won't fit, so I had to go onto Amazon and try and find baskets that were 23 centimeters wide that would actually fit in the box. Basically it's a planter box lined with plywood, and then coated with pond armor or pond shield, depending on where you buy it from, to waterproof the inner part of the actual filter. So obviously we've got this. Don't know. Putting the liner in. I tell you something. It's the worst job you can do on a pond. It's a pain in the butt. But maybe I'll do a some sort of video of it so you can see it. Some sort of time lapse thing so you can see me putting it in. But this is the clear pipe that I've installed, and as you can see it's going to be quite nice because you'll be able to actually see the water go into the actual pond, and you'll be able to see the water clarity, you know. Yeah, now Martin, obviously I've got an extra attachment there for an extra filter, and the idea is what I might do is put a piece of wood that goes across here to support another filter like a bowl, or put it over there. I could put it anywhere because I've got extra room, haven't I? But that's the bowl filter over there, if you can see that. DWP Koi, good afternoon. Yorkshire Koi, any news on Gary Webb and Caroline Pond and Garden? Are they going under another name? We used to love watching them with Gary. Didn't know about fish, wasn't worth knowing. DWP, Mr. Gary Webb is an interesting subject. Many people avoid talking about him. A lot of you probably don't know this, but I had a bit of an issue with Gary Webb. Some of you may remember. In fact, I've got a video on my channel at some point addressing. See, what happened was, he had a YouTube channel, nearly hit 1,000 subscribers. I tried to help him out. Hello, Will's Koi and Wire Trees. Yeah, I tried to help Gary Webb out by promoting his channel, trying to get him to 1,000 subscribers. Then he took offence to that and then shut his channel down. And then I think he came back briefly, put a few videos up, but his channel never went anywhere. And after that, I think he pretty much disappeared. So, you know, I don't understand why you would throw away a perfectly good YouTube channel that's almost at 1,000 subscribers, where you can earn money from YouTube videos. Not a lot, don't get me wrong, but you do earn something. To throw that channel away just because you're upset about someone promoting your channel, I think it's a bit silly. He said something along the lines he was leaving YouTube for health reasons, but then for some other reason came back, which was a bit hypocritical, and then sort of disappeared again. So I don't know, you know, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people don't really pay much attention to him anymore. I know he's had lots of arguments with other people, not just me, you know, A&C, Gaz's Koi Pond, he's had arguments with. Apparently he was doing something with someone underage or something, and on allegedly, I'll just say that, convincing them to talk to Gaz on his YouTube channel and say stuff. If you don't believe me, or if you're interested, go onto Gaz's YouTube channel and have a look at one of his past videos regarding, he was explaining it all. I don't know the ins and outs, I'm not really qualified to discuss it, but pretty much Gary Webb disappeared really, and that's more or less, you know, what happened, I think. You know, it's sad because he was doing really well on YouTube and lots of people enjoyed his videos, you know, even myself. But at some point, he decided, I don't know, just to be a bit childish and got rid of his channel altogether, you know. But it's a pity because he was doing a good channel and lots of people enjoyed it, and then all of a sudden he got upset because someone tried to get him to 1,000 subscribers, and then disappeared. You know, one of those things, I guess. We've got a few more watchers. At the moment, I'm just discussing what I'm up to with the pond. So, just showing you what I've been up to. I've been sanding in the tank connectors, refilling the gaps with foam, as you can see closer up. Just make them look quite nice. Because when you put silicone on, you want to make sure you've got a good bond with the plastic. So it's a good idea actually to rough up the plastic with some sandpaper, so it gives the silicone something to stick to, because the minute scratches help silicone bond. How are the goldfish? Alright. I'll just show you a small pond. I've got 2 goldfish in here, but I won't lie, I rarely see them. They seem to spend all their time in the fish cave, which leads me to believe that the herring keeps coming back. And I've lost 1 goldfish, so that's unfortunate that I've lost 1 of them. But the other 2 are still alive, but they don't come out, or come out very rarely. So that's a bit sad, that, really. You know, but Martin mentioned something regarding my other filter. Well, here's my bowl filter that I plan on utilising and putting around the pond as well. So Will's Koi and Fire Tree says, if you want any fry, hit up Frankly Koi, as he's got frigging thousands. Well, I've been watching Vince, and he's been going around to Rick's quite a lot, you know, Rick's farm, and helping him out with his farm. I hope he's getting paid something for it, because he's doing a lot of work. Yeah, I'll probably at some point want to get some fry and put them in the pond, because unfortunately koi fish can be quite expensive. I don't know if you guys have noticed that there's a big difference in pricing. Like Japanese Koi in Water Garden, they charge quite a bit of money for their fish. The place in Garforth that I go to are relatively inexpensive. It's about £15 for a ghost, and about £25 for a reasonably decent sized koi fish. So I think there's a massive differences in prices within the UK, but it's always a good idea to go somewhere that you actually trust. I don't know if any of you guys are dubious about buying off eBay. Is that something you would do? Do you trust the eBay sellers? I know there's some dodgy ones out there, but there's also some good ones as well. So I know Vince probably knows quite a lot of dodgy ones, but he's not prepared to say on camera which are bad and which are good. Which I can understand. He doesn't want to, you know, slate anyone. But if anyone has got any recommendations of a reasonably priced place, let me know in the comments. Yeah, so this is my main update. I'll just show you the fish cave I made as well. This is a fish cave, quite simply put. You can get those twin walled pipes and use them as a fish cave, but getting an offcut can be hard to find sometimes, and they can be quite expensive. So I picked this up from Morrison's, which is just a planter. Basically, it's quite strong and quite large, and I thought that would make a really good fish cave. So I drilled a large hole, got a jigsaw and cut it round to cut the hole, sanded it down so there's no sharp areas, put some holes in the top to allow any sort of trapped air to go through the holes, and hopefully it won't float, but I can put a few stones on top of it just to weight it down. But that's going to be a nice little fish cave, and I'm a big advocate for fish caves. Some argue that they trap muck, and that's probably true. Martin says, what are you going to cap the pond with? Well, I'm going to probably use the existing wood, really. Let me show you. This is the capping wood that I bought. I actually got it off eBay some time ago, and obviously it has weathered over time, and I'll just reuse it because obviously that's what was on there originally. So I've got some pieces that I'll obviously reuse and other pieces that I want to completely replace, because if you're interested in getting wood, a good place to go and get it from is Wicks's, because the delivery charge is only £7. Now I know a lot of places that will ask a minimum spend and quite often charge you about 50 quid for delivery. So if you're after wood and you can get what you need from Wicks's, it's where I've got all my wood from, apart from the sleepers. All the roofing that I've got all that from Wicks's. It's quite reasonable in price. It's a lot more reasonable than B&Q, and it's pretty decent. George, Wakefield Koi, Danny's Aquatics, MBK, Living Jewel Koi. So that's what Will's Koi and Wire Tricks is saying. Why have you blocked DWP Koi? He hasn't said anything offensive. He likes watching your channel. I haven't blocked him, mate. Don't think he said anything to warrant being blocked. So I don't know what's happened there. If he has been blocked, I don't know how I would unblock him. But he did post something at 3:58 p.m. and he was talking about Gary Webb and Caroline Pond and Garden. Obviously, we all know there's been issues with Gary Webb in the past. Not just myself, many other YouTubers have had problems with him. It's sad that these things happen, you know. But I haven't blocked DWP, so if DWP would like to try and make a comment, let me know, because I haven't blocked you. The only time I may block someone will be if they're quite abusive or nasty, but I don't, to be honest, I've not experienced any nastiness from anyone in the Koi community, apart from being ignored by Gaz's Koi Pond half the time. But apart from that, I don't tend to have any disagreements with anyone. So yeah, the pond's coming along really. I've bought a lot of the Owazi underlay. So this is the underlay that I've got, which is like a plastic material, a glass material. So I've got a lot of that to go in there. You can use different types of underlay. You can use carpet, although you need to be careful when using carpet, because carpet can have metal tacks in it, and it can puncture your liner. So if you do ever use any pieces of carpet, just make sure it's got nothing in it that can puncture your liner. Other people have used newspaper, but the thing with newspaper is it degrades after a period of time, so your level of protection will be reduced. Um, Obviously you can use carpet underlay as well. Some of the thick stuff is pretty good. Again, be careful, make sure you're got no issues with what's in these carpet products that could potentially punch your liner. Now I've recently bought some new liner, previously known as Firestone. I've forgotten what the new name of it is. I don't know why they changed the name, because it's a bit silly. Firestone's a pretty good name and brand. To change it to something else that no one really knows about is a bit silly. But yeah, that's what we're up to. DWP Koi says, would you not consider putting a bottom drain in while you're at this stage of your pond? Right, first of all, DWP has just said something, so he's not blocked. So I'm not sure what at the koi pond was talking about, because he just said, why have you blocked DWP Koi? Well, DWP Koi has just made a comment, so I don't think I've blocked him, because how can you make a comment if you're blocked? Yeah, I have thought about bottom drains, but to be honest, they're more hassle than they're worth sometimes. I do have a retro bottom drain that I tend to use, and I'll just have that down there. Also, an issue with my land in the garden is it's heavy duty clay. I get a lot of groundwater if I go below 3 foot deep, so going deeper than 3 foot isn't really an option. I did dig a 4 foot massive square hole here, and unfortunately it was like a swimming pool. When I put a liner down, it was like a swimming pool underneath it. In the end I gave up and I just filled the hole in. In the end I had to build up instead of digging down. Sometimes when you're in a high groundwater area where you've got heavy clay that holds the water, the only way of getting more water volume is to build up, sorry. So that's unfortunate, but sometimes that's the only option, you know. So yeah, this is the pond as it stands. I do apologise that I've not been doing any live streams recently, but I've had an auntie pass away recently, and it's been quite a sad time. Yeah, so everyone's welcome to come onto the live stream, and thank you for doing so during these sad times, you know. Unfortunately my dad's had major brain surgery, and it's concerning that he's not really getting any better, so I can appreciate there's other things on my mind. So I've just been doing a little bit at a time in the pond, getting the pipework installed and built, and that's more or less what we're at. I think Martin's just come on the stream, so I'll just show you the new pump for the skimmer. So the new pump is a Superfish Eco Pump. Now it comes with a remote control that allows you to increase and decrease like a Veriflow pump, except at 2000 litres per hour it only uses 8 watts of power, which is quite interesting. So what I've got here is we've got 2 returns, Obviously the returns are here, and then the Superfish Eco Pump, and that's the skimmer. I've used an adapter supplied by Japanese Koi and Water Garden that screws into the bottom of the skimmer, as you can see, and that's the skimmer setup. I didn't want to use a lot of power, so I looked for the best pump for the best wattage, and that's what we're at the moment. The pump itself cost me £150. Is it expensive for a basic pump? Yes. However, what you find is eco pumps are quite expensive, and for low wattage. Just trying to find a box wherever it is. Is it in here? Here it is, yeah. So here's the box. So this is a Superfish. I think it's the Pond Eco Plus RC5000. It includes a remote control, and obviously the only negative thing I'd say about it is the control unit. Just like the Evolution Aqua control units, the cable for the box is quite short, which was a bit annoying. But this is the pump I'm using for the skimmer. But thought you'd find that interesting. But this tells you the wattage that is running. So for 2000 litres it runs at 6 watts. So at 3000 litres it runs at 10 watts, and at its maximum at 5000 litres per hour it uses only 22 watts. So that's quite impressive in terms of what it uses on a yearly basis. So, but unfortunately eco pumps are not cheap. You know, this is probably 3 times the price of my Jabo pump that I was using. However, it gives you the option of lowering the power. If you generally, skimmers don't need a lot of power, so if you just want to run it at low power, you've got the option of increasing it if you want to. In fact, in terms of wattage, this blows the Evolution Aqua pumps out of the water. Because at 1000 litres you're at 30 watts on the Evolution Aqua, where I'm at 6 watts at 2000 litres an hour. Obviously this can't go up to 10,000 litres per hour like the Evolution Aqua one can, but it's probably about £40 cheaper and more efficient. So, you know, very low power consumption. So that is the Superfish Eco Pump, and they do various versions of this going up to 20,000 litres, and I think their most expensive one is around £200. So not a bad pump considering how much power it uses. So if you're after a pump that doesn't use a lot of power, the Superfish pump might be the way to go. So I'll just show you the control box, how I've got it set up. So that's basically the Superfish control box put into the cabinet, and I've just rewired everything, and this took me about a day to do in itself, getting all this put in place through a tiny hole. Not easy. Cable management is a pain in the butt, I'll tell you that. So is pipe work as well. So again, this is the pipe, goes into the surge, up, out through the clear pipe, and down into the filter. So we have 2 filters. I'll put some sponges there, as well as have wetland type filter there with various rocks and plants. But that's more or less it really. So I thought I'd just give you a brief overview of what I'm up to. I think it's time to get on with the underlay. So I just want to say a big thank you for everyone coming to watch and checking out what I'm up to. And I'll see you in another one. Take care and have a nice day. Bye bye.